week's Parsha, the Torah describes the clothing of the Kohen and the Kohen Gadol, the priest, the high priest. And the Torah goes into great detail at length, explaining each and every clothing, how it should be made with the design. And one of those clothings was called the Choshen. Choshen was a small breastplate, but beautifully adorned with gemstones. And it was a beautiful fabric, and on those stones there were engraved the names of the tribes. So 12 gemstones, brilliant stones, precious diamonds, and each one of them were in a setting of pure gold and had the names of the 12 tribes. Beautiful ornament, but the question is, why is it called a beged, a clothing? That didn't clothe the Kohen. It's a nice ornament. A necklace, a bracelet, it was a beautiful ornament. Why is it one of the clothings? You see, the purpose of a clothing isn't just to clothe the naked body. That was the first purpose of the clothing when Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden and they sinned and they said, hey, we're embarrassed because we're naked. And Hashem says, what makes you think that's an embarrassing thing? It's only because you sinned, so it makes people think. So you know what? Hashem made them clothing. So if it's just to cover the body, you can cover the body with leaves. There's another reason we have clothing, to protect us from the elements, so we can have rags for that. But we wear clothing for another purpose. We wear clothing to dignify us. It actually also represents who we are. There are different jobs, they wear different clothing. Young girls might get dressed up as a princess. They aspire to something. They would like to be a princess when they get older. Clothings show who the person are. Who you are, what your job is, and what you aspire, what you'd like to be. The Kohen Gadol, the high priest, what was his job? His job was to be our messenger, to take our offerings and bring them up to Hashem, to be our greatest lawyer and tell Hashem what a great nation we are. And if that's who the Kohen was, if you look at those ornaments, those diamonds, as I mentioned, they had the names of the tribes of it on this Choshen, and each and every one of those names were engraved in a precious stone, each one different from the other. There were sapphires, rubies, beautiful diamonds and gemstones, and in a setting of pure gold. His job was to take all those jewels and walk around with them all day and think about them and focus on the jewels and say, wow, each one of us are special, precious diamonds. And that's his job, to take that message to Hashem. Now, inside the Choshen was actually folded, and inside there was a small parchment of Hashem's precious name, Hashem's holy name, on that parchment, which is never uttered. Such a holy name. You know what? The Kohen's job was to take all those messages of the Jews and bring them up to Hashem and say, look at Hashem, look at your nation, how precious and holy they all are. And when he does that, he manages to reach into the depth of Judaism, which is bringing that holy name into the Holy of Holies on Yom Kippur, and he reaches that level only by recognizing the beauty of every Jew. So you see, this is really a beged, it is a clothing. You know why? Because that's who he is. The definition of a Kohen is to recognize the beauty of every single Yid, and he's our messenger. And therefore, when we remember that message too, that when all Jews are seen as beautiful diamonds, they may be different from another, but every single one of us is a special, precious gem. That's when we reach the level of climbing inside the Choshen and being ultimately close to Hashem. Thank you, and good Shabbos. This week's Shabbos, we're having a special Shabbaton here in the shtetl of Monsey, bringing people from all over the country. It's going to be a wonderful Shabbos. Thank you.